Howdy! Hey, Facebook fam. Okay, so I posted this fabulous little find that I found at Sprouts. This is a jackfruit. Now, I'm kind of loving going out and finding different stuff to play with, like different vegetables and fruits, because the only way I'm going to grow as a chef is by playing with other items. Now, this is something that's unusual because it's not something that we really find here, and I found it at Sprouts. They had 3 of them. They were 20 bucks a piece, so I got the largest one that I could. This is, I did a little bit of reading. So you can see this one is mostly yellow with the brown spots. So this is a ripe jackfruit. So there's what I've learned and what I've read is that jackfruit is really used. It can be used in a savory application or sweet application. I probably should have figured this out first, because if it was green, it would have been more perfect for me. I am a culinary. I do savory. I don't do pastries. I can bake. I just don't. And my baking has come out really good. So I'm not sure. Everybody has asked me to post what I'm going to make with this. So I'm going to break it down right now on Facebook Live. I don't know what I'm going to make with it until I taste it. And the reason for doing that is because right now I'm dealing with something that's going to be more on the sweet side. So we're going to go ahead and I'm going to turn this down a little bit so you can sort of see that I put some paper on my granite, because what normally happens with a jackfruit is that it's kind of slimy and fibrous when it's green. So I'm not 100% sure what it's going to be when it's ripe. I'm going to separate the seeds. I'm going to go ahead and taste it, and then later on I'll make something, I don't know what, maybe a smoothie, maybe, I don't know, maybe some fritters. So we're going to go ahead, I'm going to Facebook Live break down this jackfruit, and then I'm going to make the rest of the fam dinner, which not for me, but for everybody else includes a fabulous beer battered fish, cod, which is the appropriate fish and chips fish to use, and some lovely truffle fries. So without further ado, my trusty Henkels, and I'm gonna cut into this ginormous thing. Oh, oopsie. Well, that was a seed. So these are the seeds that I'm going to toast later. Okay, kind of cool. Okay, wait a minute here. Right. So, inside of a jackfruit. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take this little center part out right here. As cleanly as I possibly can, and for this I'm going to use a paring knife. It kind of has it's a kind of an indescribable smell. It's kind of a little bit melony, but it's kind of buttery too. Almost is very mild. I would say it's almost got kind of a lychee smell to it. Which is kind of cool. Very, very fragrant. I will say it is super, super fragrant. Let's see how deep this runs. I'm gonna probably have to take this and quarter it just to get the core out. It's funny, I was watching a video and the guy's like taking the seed pods and he's giving the exterior of the seed pod to his chickens. Well, I don't have chickens. I'm not going to be tossing seed pods in my yard. But, okay, so this isn't too horrific. It's coming apart relatively easy. I'm kind of bummed that I'm nailing some of these, cutting some of these seeds in half. But it's doing a lot better for me to take this and cut it in half and then turn around and then cut it in quarters. So the seeds are edible, but you have to cook them, because if you don't cook them and you eat them raw, it has a negative effect on, the seeds have a negative effect on people that take blood thinners and use a lot of painkillers. Once they're cooked, however, they're not toxic. And it's not that they're toxic, it's just that they're just not good to eat raw, especially for a certain class of individuals. Okay, this core is not wanting to come out that easily. So I'm not getting the stickiness that I think I would be getting from the jackfruit if it was wow, this just does not want to come apart. If it was unripe. So the cool tidbit on the unripe jackfruit is that unripe jackfruit, if you can tell, excuse me, I have to sneeze. Unripe jackfruit, you see how it's kind of like fibery here? So the unripe jackfruit can be used for vegan pulled pork, which is actually super, super cool. So let's, I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna quarter this before I take the center core out. Beautiful thing about a good chef's knife is that it is just super sharp. Much sharper than what you pick up at Bed Bath & Beyond and whatnot. So I'm trying to cut around some of the seeds because I really, really do want to toast these seeds because I think it's really cool. Just, you know, to be able to use as much of the fruit as possible, and the fact that you can use these seeds, and they're kind of interesting. You don't have to peel these. I'll pull out a seed pod once I start fabricating the rest of this. But these, we can boil them and then roast them, and it's a lovely snack. So much fiber in a jackfruit. I'm so blessed that Sprouts had this. It's so awesome. So we're just going to have this little journey on doing this. I'm not, while I would love to take you all along on my journey of making true fish and chips, beer battered fish and chips with cod, which is the appropriate fish to use. Any flaky white fish, not meaty fish. My batter is a secret, so I'd have to kill you. So I'm taking out this center core. But you see the fibers in there? Oh my God, this is just so cool. It's kind of cool doing this little adventure publicly on Facebook Live. It'd be like an episode of Chopped, right? Okay, so my gloves are like super, super sticky, so I'm gonna just take a quick hot second. I'm gonna take the gloves off because they're getting really sticky from this. And I'm gonna spray my gloves and my knives with cooking spray because that's what you have to do because it's really sticky and gooey. So I'm gonna put on a new pair of gloves. I'm just grabbing a new set. We're gonna put on a new pair. And now that I'm getting started with really getting in here and getting these seed pods out, we're gonna get a little cooking spray. We'll use, I think, what we got here. Use a little coconut oil, that'll be good. So I'm gonna spray down my knives so they don't get too sticky. So spraying the knife down is going to keep this from getting really sticky, and then spraying the gloves down makes it so I can actually get in and work with the jackfruit. I'm going to wipe this off. Nothing's worse than your knives getting really gross and sticky because then you can't get it off. All right, so I'm gonna get in here and I'm gonna pull out the seed pod. So this is the pod, the exterior of it. This we don't eat. This is okay. So you can see each one of these little, let me see if I can pull one out. So we've got, okay, we don't want skin. So here's the jackfruit. And then inside of here is where the seed sits. This is the exterior skin of the seed pod. So we're going to take that out and we're going to put this aside. So I'm putting the seeds to one side and the fruit to the other. Let's get, you'd think I'd be a little more mise en place. I mean, I've got it written on my arm. So I'm just going to put my seeds right in there. And then I'm going to separate. This is actually really cool. Okay, so here we go. So this is more of a representation of what you get. So you have this piece of jackfruit here, and inside the jackfruit, so I open this up, and inside, so this is super ripe. So normally in any other situation, I would be cutting this open, but you see how ripe it is. So the fruit, the little jackfruit pods, and then here's the seed pod inside, and then we take with this seed pod, this out exterior comes off. This gets discarded. This is inedible. This is the seed. That's the seed. That's okay because that can get roasted. Okay. So we're going to put the trash over there. So again, it's super ripe, so they're just literally falling out. But what I'm doing is I'm making sure that I'm getting these little peels out, and then here's the rest of the fruit. Oh, now this one, there's a second one in there. So I'm peeling out the pod. And making sure the inedible part is gone, because, I don't want to, it feels almost rubbery. It's actually really cool. It's not like a lot of those alien things. It's not like I'm going to be, ever doing grasshoppers or stuff like that. But so here's another piece. Unfortunately, the skin came off of that, so I'm going to cut that off. Put that there. Here's the skin. We'll discard of that. Not 100% sure what. Oh, well, that's not good. And Joanne just got home. Here's another. Well, I'm just going to discard that. Take off another one. So you guys can see what I'm doing. I'm going to go and I'm going to finish the rest of these, and then I'll make something with it. And that one, I'll post. So I'm going to go finish the rest of this. This is gonna take forever, and I'm not gonna leave you guys with me forever cleaning up this jackfruit. See you later.